I mentioned in my previous Cell video that I've gone back to watch DBZ again. I made the video originally to voice my opinion on how, honestly, really annoying he was in the Cell saga. It bothered me so much that I made a video just to get my frustrations out about the character. But a few weeks ago, my friends came by and we started talking about the character that's going to be the main topic of the video, Majin Buu. I've since finished watching DBZ, and obviously, after not watching the show for some time, some of my opinions have changed about some characters. I want to emphasize that this video is just my opinion. You are allowed to think differently from me about Buu, and I encourage that you do that and tell me in the comments. But what I want to do right now is to quickly give my opinion on all the versions of Buu. We'll start with what the fanbase has dubbed Fat Buu, and we'll end it with Kid Buu. I think that sounds fair enough. Without any further delay, let's start the video. Majin Buu, or like I said before, what the fanbase has referred to him as, Fat Buu, is a character I think most people don't really care for. After DBZ, we got Dragon Ball Super, and that's where we could have gotten something interesting, but instead they had him fall asleep against Universe 6, and fall asleep again before the Tournament of Power, and get replaced by Frieza. Sure, there was episode 79, where we see him fight against Basil, and that was pretty cool. But overall, he was left to be just a gag every once in a while. People were genuinely upset that they didn't do anything cool with him in Super. But I actually have different opinions about him when he was first introduced in Dragon Ball Z. Because I'm going to say something you may not have heard someone say before. Fat Buu is actually secretly genius. Oh my god! And let me explain why it is I feel this way. The way that Buu is set up from the start, from the Supreme Kai, is that he's a horrible, terrible creature that was going to wipe out the whole universe in a matter of seconds if revived back. But slowly, as not only the cast, but the viewer watching the show, we slowly start wondering what's true, because Babidi and his goons came off as nothing more than just a bunch of pushovers. But soon, after everything happens with first seeing the Supreme Kai, Goku and Vegeta go have their fight, the Supreme Kai and Gohan go leave to deal with Majin Buu, as well as Babidi and Dabura, and suddenly Majin Buu wakes up from his capsule. We're finally going to see what this thing that has the Supreme Kai freaking out over. The thing that's stronger than anything we've seen up until this point. What exactly do we see? A giant, pink, childlike blob that you can't take seriously at all. But then he almost kills Gohan, turns Dabura into a cookie and eats him, and then survives Vegeta's final explosion attack that actually killed him. Our perception of Buu is immediately changed, but I can understand why some people might not like him too much still after even that. Mainly because he acts so much like a child and isn't super imposing and intimidating like previous Dragon Ball villains. But to be honest, I think there's something more sinister about a childlike creature that acts more on impulse and turns everything into candy and eats them. Remember that one scene where he fixes that blind kid of his blindness and hands him some milk? And how that milk was previously some random old guy he turned into a carton of milk? You can't tell me that little kid didn't drink that from that carton of milk. Like, you realize how messed up that actually is and how dark it actually is that potentially the kid drank from that carton of milk, meaning that he actually drank from an actual human living being. That kind of stuff I find morbidly hilarious, but I think it's still really dark, and I think it worked with the scenario that they were given. But I especially like it even more so because it's coming from a pink fat lard that turns whole cities into candy and eats all of them in one gulp. And in the end, I actually ended up liking Fat Buu a lot more during the rewatch. I still don't really like looking at him because his design isn't that appealing, but it works for his personality. But in the end, I found a lot more stuff interesting about him in retrospect, so I think that's pretty cool. During my rewatch for Dragon Ball Z, there were honestly moments where I was very confused with Super Buu's character. At times, he has a childlike behavior similar to Fat Buu. Other times, he outsmarts characters like Piccolo and Gohan after sensing Gohan's energy from the world of Kais and learning the time limit for fusion thanks to Gotenks. He creates this whole plan to absorb Piccolo and Gotenks just to fight him. Yet we have him waiting around for Goten and Trunks after Piccolo tried to buy time for them. We have him also following around Piccolo around trying to buy time and not do anything about it for some reason. And then after absorbing Vegito, it takes him a surprising amount of time for him to finally realize that Goku and Vegeta weren't actually absorbed. I feel like after coming up with a plan like that, he should have realized a lot sooner what was going on inside of his body. Something else that also doesn't help Super Buu is that he doesn't really have a personality until after he absorbs Piccolo, Gotenks, and Gohan. And I think you can make an argument that he basically becomes another Cell once absorbing all of them. He has better vocabulary, he speaks in full sentences, he gets extremely overcocky when he's stronger than his opponent, he throws a tantrum whenever he's losing. Unlike Cell though, he mostly complained in the second form for no reason. Buu very much like a child would, was already prone to getting pretty angry pretty easily. But when he's Buhan, at this point, he's either eaten or killed everything on the planet, and we watch him eat our favorite characters. So seeing him get frustratingly angry is actually entertaining because of everything that he's done. But sadly, I'm gonna go ahead and have to talk about another version of Buu that I don't really like too much, and changes completely after Fat Buu gets ripped out from Super Buu's body. Kid Buu takes all the bad aspects of other versions of Buu, and none of them made him unique. Kid Buu is childlike and acts on impulse, like Fat Buu, but has no personality whatsoever. I know before I gave praise earlier for Fat Buu being that way because it made him a lot more sinister in my opinion, but with Fat Buu, it worked a lot better when he was doing that. Mostly because Fat Buu had some form of personality. You may not like it, and it's fine if you don't, but in my opinion, Fat Buu made it work, and Kid Buu just made it tired and boring. It was also very uninteresting just basically not hear him speak any form of sentences whatsoever. He was just very boring to look at, and he was not enjoyable to look at on screen. Super Buu was right when he said, "I won't be me anymore," because for what it's worth, Kid Buu ends up being exactly what the Supreme Kai was talking about. A being that causes mass destruction throughout the universe and doesn't stop until everything is dead. I just wish that he would have warned people he'd be Dragon Ball's worst villain. The best thing that came from Kid Buu is the scene where he got hit from the Spirit Bomb and being revived back as Oob. I don't know what Oob is going to do in the future, because they obviously have plans for him, but hopefully it's better than what he did in GT. That's pretty much how I feel about Majin Buu. He's probably DBZ fans' least favorite villain, but at least I was able to see more to his character in some ways after rewatching the show again, after not seeing it for such a long time. I don't completely dislike him as I did before when I was younger, but he's nowhere near my favorite Dragon Ball villain, period. Like, out of every piece of media that exists for Dragon Ball, nowhere near my favorite. But at least I don't dislike him as much as I did before. But who knows? Maybe in the future I'll make a video just for specifically that character that I really, really like. Anyways, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe for more videos, let me know your opinions about Buu in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.